Okay, so in this video, I want to share with you the single principle that I use to help PMU artists build predictable and consistent businesses so that they can just focus on their clients. So the things I'm going to share here, the principle that I'm going to be showing you, it's not really fun. Okay, so it's not going to be a high dopamine doom scrolling on TikTok. Okay, so instead I'm going to show you the rule that I follow to double PMU artist client bases and even 7x their money. Okay, so it won't be the most fun you ever had in these 10, 15 minutes of your life. But if you do just lock in for this video, I promise you that you'll come away from it knowing the only thing that you need to do to grow your PMU business to the point where you are hitting 10 to 15k months consistently. So yeah, let's get into the video. Let's make myself smaller there. Okay, there we go. So here is the principle. Let me just grab that. Okay, so the principle is to build systems. So I'll explain now. So here is a guide to building systems and what they actually are and why you need to do it. Okay, so if you are running a PMU business right now, so the reason that you may feel stuck or the reason that you clicked on this video and you want to figure out exactly how to break through and hit predictable, consistent 10 to 15k months is because right now you're probably relying on word of mouth and referrals. Because you're relying on word of mouth and referrals, that's the reason why you might find that some months are slow. Business isn't really predictable because most of your clients are coming from your last client's good word. And the way I know that is because I've seen it before. So let me tell you a story here. So basically, when I was initially starting out about 2 years ago, I knew a friend of a friend, like basically a relative of mine, and that was my first client. So I was super excited to help her when I found out that she did actually have a business, and yeah, so she had a PMU business. So and in her PMU business, she was struggling with first of all inconsistent months. So some months were great, but some she was worrying like where her next booking would actually come from, and that was really stressful for her. The second thing was that she was handling everything in her business, all the marketing, the admin, and that just made it really time consuming for her. Just her business was time consuming. And then she had tried posting on social media, but that would just take up loads of her time. And basically, she was hitting 5 to 6k a month with no consistency. So when I sat down with her with, my Google Doc full of questions that I had to ask her, then I asked her what she was doing right now to get new business. And the answer she gave me was, well, word of mouth mainly. And at that point, I remember being surprised when she said that because the problem was that essentially her customers owned her business because it was as if she was like throwing a party and she only invited about 5 people and hoped that those 5 people would tell like 5, 10, 50 of their friends. So in a situation like that with the party that I just mentioned, you don't know if those 5 people that you've invited will actually, first like even tell their friends about you, or maybe some of them will and others won't, which is why, word of mouth is inconsistent because, some people may refer their friends, some people might not even know anybody that wants to get their brows done. And those who do refer you to their friends, they'll only be able to refer you to people that they actually know. So in that case, you're missing out on those hundreds and even thousands of potential new clients who don't know anyone that your clients know, so are missing out on finding about your brand. So it's in this scenario, it's not in her control, so she can't force people to talk about her. So that means that her bookings were literally dependent on luck. So what that literally meant was that her income was essentially out of her hands. But I mean, this was something that I thought at the time as well, so it wasn't really her fault because she trained to be a PMU artist, not a full-time marketer. But the thing is, that relying on word of mouth was just causing so many issues in her business and its ability to actually grow. So she couldn't decide to just scale up word of mouth to hit 10, 15k months, and she couldn't get new clients predictably. It was dependent on that client, on how many clients that they would refer her way, and like whether they would even refer her in the first place. So later on, after speaking with 100 more PMU artists in these 2 years, so I've realized that this is the number one reason why PMU artists are getting stuck at 5 to 6k months with inconsistency. So the solution that I implemented for my first client was actually building a system. So the result of building a system was that we built a predictable and consistent PMU business where she could just focus on her clients. And with having a system that we could scale her up to like 15k months consistently. So it was a system where basically everything changed for our business. So now let me provide some value, and I'll show you the exact system that we implemented at the time and how you can use it for yourself. So. Okay, so the exact system that we implemented for to get clients predictably was Google Ads. So I've got a full video on how to set up step by step, and the link is in the description, and that's free. But essentially, whether you've tried Google Ads before, whether you haven't heard of them before, I'll address both of them. So the first point on how Google Ads even work and how they get her clients predictably is so when someone searches a term like microblading near me. So let's say a potential client who is ready to book in for browse, they just don't know who to book in with. They get out their phone, they go on Safari, they search out microblading near me, and when they search it up, if this potential client is in your area, then they find you at the top. So essentially that's an ad and you show up at the top of Google. So then once they click on that ad, so let's say they clicked on that ad, then they go to something called a landing page. So instead of taking them to a homepage, what we did was we created something called a landing page, which I mean simply put is just it's like a homepage but with all the distractions that a homepage brings. So let's say, someone is on your homepage right now. They probably have like 7 to 8 different options that they can click on, like services, about me, eyeliner, lip blush, all the treatments you offer. They're going to be able to access all of those and just click around trying to find information. And the result of that is that they basically get lost. They don't know, they can't find all the information that they need easily, so then they just get lost and they leave and they don't book. Whereas with a landing page, as you can see, it's really simplified. So it's just focused on getting someone who clicked on, learning about browse and booking browse, and it's just focused on that. So book now, permanent brow. So everything is focused on browse on this page. So the result of that is that people, they don't get lost. They find all the information they need and they actually book in for that consult. So that's how Google Ads work. And in terms of if you tried them before, maybe it was a waste of money. So these kind of Google Ads that you see here, this is what I do for clients now. They usually get to 4 to 7x ROI for my clients. So they put in $1,000, they get 4,000, even 7,000 out. So it does work in terms of whether it actually works. But yeah, so this was a system that I implemented for my first client at the time, and yeah, it worked great, like I mentioned before. And so the result of you implementing this now, obviously you can check out that video in the description if you do want to do that, but you will literally be able to stop having inconsistent months, and that's because in the first 30 days of you running these Google ads, so you'll be able to see, how many clients have I got in those first 30 days. And then once you get those clients in that first month, then you can expect that every single month, because what you're doing with paid ads is that you're paying for that consistency. You're paying to get clients, making a ton of profit in the process. Paid ads allow you to pay for the consistency of getting new clients every single month. And you'll never need to post on Instagram again, because once you're getting clients through Google ads and you're getting clients through that consistently, there's not really a need to post on Instagram. Obviously, you can if you want, but you don't need to constantly post on there to get clients. And yeah, you'll be able to focus on clients with marketing that just runs passively in the background. And you'll be able to have more freedom, flexibility, and higher income from getting those new clients consistently each month. And yeah, because you can scale these ads up as much as you want. So let's say after that first month, you spend $1,000, you get 12 new clients. Then in the second month, you could say, okay, this month I want to hit 10K in revenue. Then all you need to do is scale up the ad spend, let's say to 2K, and then you get 24 clients that month. So that's how scalable paid ads are, and that's a really key benefit of them for PMU artists. And I mean personally, what I think is that Google ads are the best version of paid ads, especially compared to Facebook ads. So that's why I'm recommending them to you now. So for example, with Google ads, you're able to get new clients while spending minimal time to actually reply to those inquiries that you are getting. So that's especially important because I'm sure you are a busy artist and you don't really have time to spend, with that time replying to inquiries. So let's say someone's searching microblading in me, so that person is ready to book. They're searching microblading in me, they've already done all their research, they know they want their brows done, they're just looking for the best artist near them. So all you're going to have to do is literally pick a day for the consult and schedule that in. So it's really minimal work that you have to do on your behalf. So you spend less time to actually get a booking. Whereas with Facebook ads and Instagram ads, you're going to attract people who have never really heard of permanent makeup before, and they're just scrolling and they probably just like the picture of brows that you put up in the ad. So they're going to be a bit skeptical on actually getting a tattoo on their face because they've done no research before. So they're going to need like more messages to actually turn into a booking. So then you're spending more time to get the same result that you do with Google ads. So yeah, that's why I'd recommend Google Ads. Okay, so that is in terms of the principle of building a system and basically how it can get you consistent, predictable months, and you can scale up as much as you want. So whether you want to hit 10K months right now or 15K months, that's exactly why we run paid ads for PMU artists and why I recommend them to you. So yeah, if Google Ads sound like something you do want to run, then feel free to check the link below in the description and you can watch my free video on exactly how to run them in your business today. But yeah, if not, you can just subscribe and I'll be dropping way more videos like these, just providing value to PMU artists. But if you do want me to implement Google Ads just completely done for you, so you don't even have to lift a finger, then you can book a scale call with me below. Yeah, you can just click the link in the description or you can just DM me on Instagram and get in touch that way. But yeah, thanks for watching and that's it for today.